One of the most highly anticipated WPIAL girls basketball games takes place tonight and will likely determine section supremacy as the Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions welcome the Shady Side Academy Bulldogs in a matchup of WPIAL championship winning teams from a year ago. Sean Myers joined by Jack Ridenauer here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Our producer, Dan Flickinger, our videographer, Matt Palumbo, and a special thanks to tonight's gold sponsor, Cox Piping Supply. As a third-generation family-owned business, Cox Piping Supply is proud to serve contractors in Western PA with water, storm, sanitary sewer, and erosion control products. Visit them at coxpiping.com or one of their 3 branches in Latrobe, Bethel Park, or Cranberry. Jack, this is a massive one tonight. It is the second regular season meeting between these schools, and surprisingly, the first one was a blowout in favor of the host Shady Side Academy Bulldogs that time. Now it's the Centurions on their home floor who are looking to try to even up the series, and certainly had a head of momentum heading into the postseason where both these teams have already clinched.
And without question, and for GCC, I'm sure they've had this date circled on their calendar, especially for the fact that, like you mentioned, the way they lost to Shady Side in the first meeting, majorly lopsided, 62-33 in that game. And so for GCC, getting round 2 here at home, an opportunity to also hand Shady Side Academy their first loss of the season. So for GCC, obviously revenge on their mind, but also trying to get even in the section standings with the Bulldogs.
Well, it's no surprise that these have been 2 of the best teams in Class 3A. The Bulldogs are the defending champions. They won their first ever WPIAL crown last year, and the argument could be made that they are a better team this year. Certainly record-wise they are 12-0 in Class 3A Section 2. They are 19-0 overall. There are not many teams still undefeated at this point of the season. The Bulldogs are one of them. GCC 15-3, 10-1. Of course, their lone loss in section play came at the expense of the Bulldogs. They won Class 2A gold last season. They moved up due to the PIA competitive balance to 3A. Not a good throw for the opening tap. We'll do that one over again. That's our blooper of the night right at the onset. That's a little better, and it's won by the Centurions, clad in the white jerseys, and the Bulldogs wearing the blue, as that shot by Jayla Peterson draws front iron. Peterson led them in scoring in the first matchup between these schools. With the basketball, Karis Thomas, she is a special player. She is the top dog offensively for Shady Side Academy under their legendary head coach, Jonna Burke. Layla Bana with the dribble. Defending her is Nolan Altoff, and a travel on the first possession for the Bulldogs.
A good defensive stop there for GCC. Great last-second help by Erica Gribble. Comes over in just enough time to cause that turnover and to cause the extra steps.
It is a raucous environment here at Greensburg Central Catholic as now the Centurions return the favor, and Aaron Pass gives possession back to Shady Side. Under the guidance, as we mentioned, of Jonna Burke, 4th year with this program, but she has been around and very few are as accomplished as her. Well over 500 career victories, a couple of WPIAL titles to boot, including last year. Chris Skittell on the other side, his 4th year as well, guiding the Centurions, and he's got a gold medal on his resume. Thomas kicks out, corner 3 misses everything, and both these teams maybe a little nervous to start. Centurions have a run-out opportunity, but the ball thrown away, and right now neither team in an offensive rhythm, Jack. That is clear to see just over a minute in.
Yeah, both teams needing to get a little bit of their feet wet, if you will, in this one, and maybe some of the loud, raucous, like you mentioned, environment here, Sean, is getting to both teams. Just have to settle in, only not even 90 seconds into the game.
There's a steal by the Centurions. And with the basketball, it is Erica Gribble, recently making her college pledge. Short jumper, and that is off the mark by Erica Rodriguez. A strong rebound by Cassie Sauer. She'll be doing that quite a bit. She is a double-double machine for Shady Side, and she comes from unbelievable basketball bloodlines. We'll get into that story more as the night progresses, as good hands forces a tie-up. Nolan Altoff with the active defense. Possession error does keep it with the visitors.
GCC playing some really good defense to start here, especially against a potent offense in Shady Side Academy, and the Bulldogs just not in any sort of half-court rhythm right now.
They throw the basketball into Buford. Sauer posting up, and a foul committed by GCC. They don't have one particular player that's probably physically able to match up with Sauer, Jack, so they're going to have to find different creative ways to try to slow her down. They didn't have an answer the first meeting when she had a double-double of 20 points to go with 10 rebounds. Foul is on Althoff.
We've already seen a little bit of the help side defense from GCC. That last line of defense coming over and sliding over there. Althoff coming over a little late, but again, the right idea to try and close off that last opportunity at a potential layup.
Thomas gives off. Centurions' goal number one is to slow her down. Number two, contain Sauer. Three ball from the near corner. Another errant one. Couldn't see if that one maybe was deflected, but well shy of drawing iron, and the rebound goes to Gribble. The Richmond pledge. Gribble following the path her two older sisters said of playing college basketball, although that won't happen for a couple more years. Good hustle by Gribble to keep it alive. Centurions with another play, but ultimately it goes to Capel as she comes in off of glass, and finally we've got points on the board. And it is Cameron Capel, the daughter of Pitt men's basketball coach Jeff Capel.
Sometimes when you're struggling offensively like both teams are right now, you need that first bucket to go through, and that really relaxes the shoulders. So could see the Bulldogs start to settle in here.
Peterson trying to get free. Contested shot well off the mark. And now the Centurions get a held ball after Capel initially had the rebound. She was tied up. Possession error this time favors the home squad.
We've seen Peterson take two pretty quick shots on some long contested threes. Maybe wait a second, move it around a little bit. Been a little bit of an impatient feel for GCC offensively.
Kai Mitchell has checked in for Shady Side Academy. Peterson nearly had that one stripped away by the recently inserted Mitchell, but was able to avoid the turnover. Baseline drive, and that's cut off nicely by the Bulldogs, although it looks like it's going to be a foul. Jonna Burke thought that could have been a held ball. The official says that's not the case. As the Bulldogs, I knew at some point I was going to call them the Indians, Jack. Old habits die hard. Pick up the foul. It goes on Buford. Pull up Jay, and that's pure for Erica Gribble as she gets her team its first points. We're all square almost halfway through the opening quarter. Good defense by the Centurions. A low-scoring affair here. It's not maybe a surprise because these teams are outstanding defensively, both permitting just over 30 points per contest.
And we saw Peterson there tying up Thomas on that drive. Great job by Peterson to go for the ball and not get her hands caught for a foul.
Interior passing, never made it through to Sauer. Stays with the Bulldogs. Behind the back dribble by Buford. As she is going at Rodriguez. And a foul on the Centurions. So an opportunity as the second foul on Althoff. That's significant. An opportunity for Shady Side to get the lead back at the stripe. Going there is Buford, a sophomore who averages 8 points per game. Unable to hit the first.
And another thing we have not noted, Sean, is that these two teams with GCC moving up to 3A this year, these are two new foes. They have not played against each other much, so you got to think Shady Side Academy, they're not used to coming to this loud environment here at GCC.
That is a lane violation, I believe, on the Bulldogs. So I think officially that doesn't go for a Buford miss since it was a lane violation, but either way, the score remains deadlocked at 2 as Gribble moves it to Peterson. She was a newcomer last year for GCC, the transfer from Indiana, which is a pretty good program. Jack, you lament maybe a missed opportunity there for the Centurions.
Yeah, no question. Sophia Detweiler was wide open on that backdoor cut.
Instead, it's a turnover and 2 points off of glass for Thomas. A prolific score, to say the least.
And a strong take, too, taking that ball all the way to the rack after having it stripped from her in the previous possession by Peterson.
Peterson tries to answer and missed that badly, but Rodriguez keeps it alive as that banks in, courtesy of Avery Jones. I'll take that any way you can get it. Points have been hard to come by, but Thomas may be starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. She's got her second hoop.
And both teams have quickly started to get into a little groove. Pace of play starting to pick up.
Thomas averages 20 per game. She went over 1,000 points earlier this season as a Bulldogs foul. We have a couple of 1,000-point scores in this game that are just juniors, Jack. That foul goes on Cassie Sauer. Rodriguez moves it to Gribble, and that one almost banked in. A rare bad miss by Erica Gribble, who did struggle offensively in the first meeting. She was limited to 9 points, including just one shot made behind the arc. Good hands by Capel. As she comes in, puts the brakes on, swatted away, courtesy of Rodriguez. Capel keeps it in their possession, and Sauer's going to go to the line. She missed a bunny, but she was fouled. 2 shots forthcoming for the 6'2" junior. As the foul is assessed to Rodriguez. Sauer is the daughter of the late Shady Side legend Peter Sauer. As she hits the first. He was class of 1995, led at the time the Shady Side Academy Indians to unbelievable success, had a great college career at Stanford, died tragically more than a decade ago at the age of 35 when he collapsed while playing pickup basketball in New York. And I know he'd be awfully proud of what his daughter Cassie has been able to do during her time. She is the third of the 3 Sauer daughters to play for Jonna Burke with Shady Side. Gribble tied up. That is a held ball. Good active hands defensively by Mitchell.
And you could tell Shady Side Academy, they have 23 in white circled and highlighted on the scout for this week. Every time Gribble drives, there's somebody coming on the help side to collapse down, and she keeps running into 2 defenders. She does not have a clean lane to the basket.
Thomas dishes to the far corner. Baseline drive leads to an open 3 off the heel on the miss by Capel. Bulldogs temporarily kept it alive, but it's Peterson who ultimately secures the rebound. Jayla Peterson has become the number 2 scoring option this year with the graduation of some really good players from a year ago, including Maya Morgan and Avery Davis, both playing collegiately. That is tipped out, but stays with GCC. They're coming off of, I think it's fair to call it a lopsided win, Jack. 83-10 last time out. They defeated East Allegheny.
Yeah, their biggest win of the year.
They held the Wildcats to 1 point in the first quarter. They scored 31. So they were up 31-1 after 8 minutes of play. Peterson with a smooth stroke there as she gets her first points.
Yeah, some dazzling ball handling there. Finagling around a bunch of Bulldogs and able to get a shot to go. Again, a player that had 18 the last time she went up against Shady Side Academy. Not nearly enough in the first meeting, however, as that one hung on the rim, but Buford gets it to fall through. As she gets her first points, it is 10-6 as we've entered the final minute of this opening stanza of play. And a big change in the latter part of this first quarter after no points by either team for almost the first 3 minutes of the game. This one will likely determine section supremacy. The Centurions likely would get a share of it if they win this game. No on the first. Second one missed by Jones. Now a battle in the corner. And it will go to Shady Side Academy. 35 seconds remaining. Low-scoring affair. Maybe you already think of holding for a final shot here, Jack. Absolutely, especially with how Shady Side has kind of struggled in the early going offensively. They've gotten a little bit better in the half court, but they want to get a good, clean set here, try and really flex their offensive muscle here. No surprise that it's Thomas with the basketball. She is hounded by Peterson, who poked it free. Down to a dozen seconds remaining in the opening quarter. 4-point lead. Buford powers her way, tries to split a couple defenders. A wild shot that goes out, and it leaves 5.5 seconds potentially for GCC to get something
to the rim.
Yeah, they have to hustle.
And they're taking a lot of time. They didn't throw the basketball ahead very much at all. Peterson goes floater. Can't bank that one in. Opening quarter comes to an end. Shady Side staked to a 10-6 lead over Greensburg Central Catholic. We'll take a break. Second quarter upcoming on WSN.
I am the swiftest creature alive. I can make it. I will make it.
That's where we come in. The Collision Shop by Jason Mignon is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered. Body repairs, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our friendly office staff is happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit thecollisionshopbyjason.com for our complete list of services.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season.
Sweep the season series and clinch a section title outright with the win here tonight. Peterson with the basketball. Thomas with 4 points, the only player to score more than 2 in the opening quarter of play. Peterson kicks that one to Detweiler, and ultimately it's a turnover.
That's caused by Thomas, doing a great job on that switch, coming out, blitzing the ball handling of GCC.
Transition three barely grazes iron by Buford. Gribble has the basketball. By her standards, a quiet opening 8 minutes for Erica Gribble. They blanketed her on that cut. Peterson, however, able to finish as she split a couple defenders and used the glass to pull her team within 2.
And I'm sure we're starting to see how Shady Side Academy won the last time, just taking Gribble out of the equation and making somebody else from the Centurions beat them. And right now, it's been Peterson that's getting a little bit more comfortable.
Sauer, nice post entry and a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Detweiler. So if you're Chris Cattell, you don't have one single player that probably has the physical tools to match up with the talented Cassie Sauer. You're going to have to use a second defender perhaps at times to come over, and that time just a little bit too much contact as Sauer strokes the first. She's now 3 of 3 at the stripe.
We've seen a couple times when the primary defender gets beat, that help side, mostly the weak side defender, is collapsing down, letting that player for Shady Side Academy in the corner stay put. And quite frankly, I would continue to do that for the fact that the Bulldogs have not been able to do much from 3, completely come off, help, and continue to collapse down on those drives.
Georgia Evans has checked in for the home team. She had the opportunity as that banks in by Jones. Second field goal by Avery Jones. It's back down to just a 1-point lead, but a very quick response by Thomas.
Yeah, that's the danger if you're playing Shady Side Academy. You have to get back in transition, because if you don't, Thomas is going to beat you down the floor.
Nearly knocked away from Evans. She sang the national anthem when these teams met at Shady Side Academy out in Fox Chapel. Swatted away by Sauer. Centurions keep it. Peterson can't knock down the foul line J, and the rebound goes to Banner. Thomas throws it ahead to Buford, and a foul on GCC. So apparently there was a technical issue out at Shady Side Academy the first time these teams met, and so they needed someone impromptu to sing the national anthem. Freshman Georgia Evans stepped up and delivered. Was it a good rendition, Bill? Yeah, he said it was very good. Left-handed attempt, well shy, but Sauer cleans up the miss. And she is a problem right now for GCC. That's her first field goal.
Yeah, there's a reason why she averages 10 rebounds per game on the season. You could tell, you mentioned it, Sean, there's nobody on GCC that can match up with her one-on-one.
Rattling that one in is Althoff. 15-12, Shady Side. Centurions have yet to hold a lead. And Sauer very quickly on the other end. She's got 5 in the quarter.
That was simply just transition defense breaking down for GCC. Nobody communicates, and Sauer left wide open.
Gribble, unable to knock down the three. She just does not seem like she is comfortable playing against Shady Side this season. And let's be honest, the Bulldogs do that to a lot of opponents. There's a reason why they permit just 30.3 points per game. And pretty much right on that average. They gave up 31 last time out against Deer Lakes, which is a pretty good team. That's a postseason bound Lancers team that they won by 40 against.
Yeah, this is the best defensive team in all of 3A in Shady Side Academy.
And a nice scoop layup by Buford. She's been impressive.
You can see the offense starting to expand a little bit for Shady Side. We talk so much about Thomas and Sauer, but other players also getting involved and showing some of the depth by this Bulldogs team.
Gribble banks it in. It is a packed gym here, Jack. So much so that some people have been just standing at this point trying to find places to go.
Standing room only here in GCC.
Something like that. Gribble, that's a nice bounce pass. Had to cover a lot of ground, and Jones right in her shooting pocket, able to knock it down. That will take us to a timeout. Centurions back within 3, 19-16. Second quarter continues on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
It's prime time for prime rib at D'Annunzio's every Friday and Saturday night. Get yourself a 12-ounce queen cut for $26 or a 16-ounce king cut for $29. The prime rib is seasoned, slow roasted, served with au jus and horseradish, vegetables, and a choice of pasta or potato, and comes with super salad too. Remember, D'Annunzio's prime rib special every Friday and Saturday after 4 at all 3 of our restaurant locations.
Back to action here out of the timeout. Sean Myers and Jack Ridenauer here on WSN. And Jack, right now, I would say Centurion's doing enough to hang around, but so far it has been the Bulldogs who have kind of, I would say, asserted their will a little bit more on this game. And the fact that they have the 6'2" Sauer and a great guard complement and Thomas to go with her makes it awfully tough to defend them.
It's a high-level offense that kind of hits you from different areas. And I think for right now, for GCC, they guarded it well in the first quarter with that help side defense coming over and collapsing, but been a couple times transition-wise that they're just not getting back. And you got a player like Karis Thomas that likes to push the ball in tempo. You cannot afford to have that happen.
4:22 left, second quarter, 3-point lead for Shady Side and possession with Thomas. Centurions playing zone defense, and now Thomas looking back to her head coach, Jonna Burke, a Bethel Park grad who went on to have an unbelievable career at the University of Pittsburgh with the Panthers. That shot is off the mark, and the rebound secured by Peterson.
I love this change in defense by GCC. Shady Side's had little to no success from three-point land tonight. Might as well go to a 2-3 and force them to beat you from distance.
Gribble, defended by her number sake, Thomas. Now to the foul line, Peterson. She's had a smooth stroke tonight, knocks it down. Peterson now has 6. She's pulled her team within 1.
She's got such a fast shot, gets it in the shot pocket so quickly and releases it so well too.
She was probably the number 4 option on the team a year ago offensively. She has really developed. She's always had a scorer's mentality, just wasn't needed to be prolific a year ago as Avery Jones unable to keep that one in. Jones, a lacrosse player for GCC as well. You think of Shady Side Academy and Greensburg Central Catholic, the first thing that comes to mind for me is soccer, because the 2 girls soccer programs had basically a decade where they almost alternated winning championships. They would always seem to lock horns in postseason play, as that's an air ball. Bad miss by Mitchell, and GCC looking to push. Peterson just had to throw it up as her momentum was taking her out of bounds, and that springs the Bulldogs fast break the other way. Thomas off. She's slow to get up behind the play. Gribble. Peterson run off the line, draws contact, and we'll see if that's in the act of shooting. It is not. It's on the floor. Mitchell picking up that foul. Jonna Burke furious, thought it should have been an illegal screen. Gribble takes advantage. The 3-ball has given GCC its first lead of the night. It is 21-19 Centurions.
And they like that action with Gribble inbounding it, and then she gets a screen right when she comes back in play, and it works to a beauty.
Close out on Buford. Thomas averaged just shy of 17 points a year ago. She is up that to about 20. They have needed her to be a big scorer. Maggie Spell, who led them in scoring last year, transferred to Thomas Jefferson in the offseason as a nice floater by Thomas.
And Thomas wanted someone to flash high post on that 2-3. Nobody comes up there. She sees the lane and she takes advantage.
That's an air ball from the corner. Bulldogs come out with it. It's Thomas. That burst of speed quickly gets it into the front court. Kick out 3. Another air ball. They are missing badly on some perimeter shots. Gribble weaving her way. Nice left-handed pass to the corner. 3 off the rim. Battle for the rebound. Gribble has it. Goes fadeaway. Knocks it down. Erica Gribble has made it 23-21.
I love the tempo in this game. Up-tempo, fast, both teams wanting to get it out and shoot the ball. But you can tell ever since this 2-3 zone's been implemented by GCC, Shady Side's got no answers.
And a held ball. Didn't look like there was a ton of ball there, but Centurions, a lot of forearm perhaps, but usually the officials do have a tendency, Jack, if a player's kind of reaching in and the ball's stuck like that, they'll usually just call it a jump ball.
I thought the top ref here actually was going to call a foul. Initially he put his hand up like he was going to, but instead not the case.
And the Bulldogs want to talk things over. They trail 23-21, 1:14 left in the opening half right here on WSN.
This is the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast.
On this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast, we take a look at the Norwin girls' upset victory on the road against Upper St. Clair, the Franklin Regional boys winning a thriller in OT against Greater Latrobe, and all of the girls' playoff qualifiers.
We also have Plays of the Week, Team of the Week, which is the Southmoreland boys basketball team, and a schedule look ahead.
All that and much, much more on this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast right now on our YouTube channel. That's my favorite commercial, Jack. You know that?
Mine too. I love that commercial.
Got to check out our latest episode of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast. Talk about all the biggest stories. Our team of the week, the Southmoreland Scotties boys basketball team. I'll say this. GCC wins this one tonight, Jack. They could be a leading contender to be our team of the week next week. I want to thank Cox Piping Supplies, by the way, tonight's gold sponsor, third-generation family-owned business, proud to serve contractors in Western PA with water, storm, sanitary sewer, and erosion control products. Visit them at coxpiping.com or one of their 3 branches, Latrobe, not far from here, Bethel Park, or Cranberry. Bethel Park, very familiar spot for Jonna Burke, the 1990 graduate of the Blackhawks, coached for 18 years there, won a championship. She went 360 and 107 during her time guiding Bethel Park as she dials up that out of bound, and it leads to an easy 2 for Cassie Sauer.
And it seems anywhere Coach Burke's gone, she's won Bethel Park's first ever girls title, wins Shady Side's first ever girls title last year.
Gribble, a bit strong, long rebound. And that one somehow stays in and goes back to Gribble. Thought for sure that basketball was headed out. Gribble hands it off to Peterson. Contested jumper. Another long rebound. An offensive rebound once more. This time it's by Erica Rodriguez. Gribble bounce pass. And the baseline jumper is off, and a strong rebound by Banner. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. All square, and a turnover on the travel. Student section likes seeing that for the Centurions. They are a rowdy bunch here.
Oh, yeah. Well, they know how important this game is. I mean, like you mentioned, Sean, this could very well be basically for the section. And so they know what's at stake, especially with the fact that Shady Side defending 3A champs, GCC defending 2A champs, now in 3A. A lot on the line.
A win by Shady Side tonight guarantees outright section title. Nice hands there by Jones. Thought that one was going out. Short jumper, and Rodriguez unable to knock it down. Rodriguez also a softball player for the Centurions. Nice layup by Thomas. And she was able to beat the buzzer and give her team a narrow lead heading into the locker room. 25-23 in favor of the Bulldogs over the Centurions. We will take a break. When we come back, it's the Independence Health Halftime Show as we continue our coverage of a big-time matchup in Class 3A girls basketball on WSN.
Alzheimer's disease, believe it or not, kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Up until recently, healthcare options to treat Alzheimer's disease were quite limited. We had oral medications, but they were not known to change the underlying trajectory of the disease. Recently, new medications have been released. These medications are infusions that have actually been shown in studies to change the course of the disease itself. We are honored to be the first in our region to provide these medications to our patients. My uncle suffers from Alzheimer's. I have seen the tragedy of this disease, and I have seen its effect on my entire family. At Independence Health System, we are offering our patients and their families the latest in diagnostic techniques, the latest in drug therapies, and most importantly, we are offering them hope in the fight against Alzheimer's disease.
This is the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast.
On this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast, we take a look at the Norwin girls' upset victory on the road against Upper St. Clair, the Franklin Regional boys winning a thriller in OT against Greater Latrobe, and all of the girls' playoff qualifiers.
We also have Plays of the Week, Team of the Week, which is the Southmoreland boys basketball team, and a scheduled look ahead.
All that and much, much more on this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast right now on our YouTube channel.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
At Smale Kia, we know that winning takes hard work, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. By sponsoring Shining Stars, we'll select 2 teams each season to help fund their booster programs. Rewarding their hard work, athletic progress, and community service is an investment we're proud to make. Congrats to our previous Shining Star winners, and good luck. Get super low lease payments or thousands off the top when you buy. This week at Smale Kia, Route 30 East Greensburg, or SmaleKia.com.
The Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason for our complete list of services.
Coming winter 2024, DBAT Pittsburgh East will be bringing the DBAT Sports family to Pittsburgh's East neighborhoods, featuring a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art baseball and softball training facility with 4 dual Fungoman automatic pitching machines, 9 lesson cages featuring the best training tech in the game, including pro-sized baseball and fast-pitch bullpens, elite speed, strength, and agility coaching, professional baseball and softball instruction, 50-plus camps, clinics, party room, and a pro shop powered by pro preferred brands Rawlings and Easton. Now offering Founders Club memberships. Learn more at dbatpiteast.com.
It is halftime here at Greensburg Central Catholic, and a narrow 2-point lead for the Shady Side Academy Bulldogs, courtesy of a late basket by Thomas that basically beat the buzzer. She, with 10 points, leading the way for the Bulldogs. Cassie Sauer not far behind. She has 9. On the other side, 9 points for Erica Gribble, 6 apiece for Jayla Peterson, as well as Avery Jones. Sean Myers joined by Jack Ridenauer. We welcome you into the Independence Health System halftime show. Expert care here. We have a little bit of a shooting display. Oh, we got a half-court shot here, Jack. What do you think?
Oh, we almost made that. I think they're making their own halftime entertainment. I kind of love this.
Seems like it. Well, we got some good first-half entertainment, and although the Centurions did not have many leads, they have hung around, which really was not the case when they played out at Fox Chapel the first meeting. So I think Chris Cattell has to feel much better about his team's efforts so far tonight. And they're going to have a real chance in this second half.
It was really when that zone got put into play that was the biggest difference for GCC, because man-to-man, Shady Side Academy was picking them apart, had their way. Even when things were still, for the most part, the defense was collapsing down for GCC. Guards for Shady Side were making the right plays, but Coach Scattell noticing that the Bulldogs did not shoot the ball well from three. I mean, they had a couple air balls, some really bad misses across the board, and so they go to the zone, and that really was where things started to shift even more. But that last second bucket by Thomas, that gives this Shady Side team a lot of confidence, I feel, going into the second half. Hey, we ended the first half with a little momentum. Now we can carry that into the second half, because the big thing for them is just trying to force somebody else not named Erica Gribble to beat them, even though Gribble has still been able to have a major impact in this game, more so as a distributor and as a playmaker than a scorer.
Do you think they're able to win this game? As Samir Crosby hits the half-court shot, Matt Palumbo, our videographer, was all over it. Can GCC win this game if Gribble does not go off as a scorer, Jack?
I think so. I think that the way that Jayla Peterson has been playing, they definitely could win. And not to mention, they've been doing a great job rebounding. I mean, you look at the job Erica Rodriguez has done down low, Avery Jones as well. Couple shots that are a little bit of the in-between 10, 11-foot jumpers should have fallen for GCC. So you look at those opportunities, maybe some lost chances to take a lead into the half. But I do think that even if Gribble is taken out of the equation, Peterson continues to assert herself, and the rebounding has to continue to be a big calling card, because the way that Cassie Sauer can dominate the glass, it can be a problem for GCC, but they've done a good job on the collective rebounding, and especially Erica Rodriguez. She has been a quiet star tonight for the Centurions on that aspect.
These two teams already postseason bound, as are Avonworth and Deer Lakes. Avonworth, the team that Shady Side Academy defeated in the championship last year in Class 3A. The Centurions, they won the 2A title that same weekend down at the Pete. So 2 of 6 girls basketball champions doing battle here tonight. First one went in favor of Shady Side Academy. Pretty lopsided, 62-33. Thomas went off for 24 points, and now one including third quarter explosion for 11 points. So keep that in mind. Looked like she started to really get it going, maybe potentially with that near buzzer beater. And Sauer had 20 and 10. Peterson had 18. Gribble had 9 in the first meeting. We'll take a break, get you ready for third quarter action as we continue the Independence Health System halftime show. 25-23, Shady Side over GCC here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
It's prime time for prime rib at D'Annunzio's every Friday and Saturday night. Get yourself a 12-ounce queen cut for $26 or a 16-ounce king cut for $29. The prime rib is seasoned, slow roasted, served with au jus and horseradish, vegetables, and a choice of pasta or potato, and comes with super salad too. Remember, D'Annunzio's prime rib special every Friday and Saturday after 4 at all 3 of our restaurant locations.
Drive like a champion with Bowser Chevrolet of Monroeville. You're always on the winning team with Bowser Chevrolet. Visit BowserChevrolet.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and get the power of Bowser in your hands. Customize your payments, apply for financing, get a value for your trade and more with the Bowser Express Store. See the full lineup of Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs at BowserChevrolet.com. Bowser Chevrolet, where the power of Bowser is yours.
A lot of events with CSA. It's one of the things I love about this organization, and I'm just so proud of what we do in Westmoreland County, from prevention conferences, veterans conferences, youth summits. We help with national night outs. There's so many different events and things that we've pulled together that have been really cool over the years. The best thing to be involved in the county, this is it. So we have a lot of members and things of that nature, but we are looking for more people to join and be a part of the group that can really be a part of the core team and invest into the community. So.
Third quarter on the horizon, a 2-point lead for Shady Side Academy as they look to clinch the section title outright. If the Centurions win, Jack, they go to 11-1. Shady Side would be 12-1, so technically they would still be ahead. But the likelihood in that scenario is that the teams would each finish with 1 loss. They would split the 2 games in the series, and they would be co-section champs. And then the seeding would be interesting because both teams get the benefit of being defending champions, But GCC in this scenario would have won the more recent meeting. Typically, that could indicate that they get a better seed. That's all in the future. They can't be thinking about that right now, but the implications to tonight are significant.
And I think for GCC, they've got to know that, no matter what, they're champions. Shady Side Academy, they're champions. They know what it takes to win in these situations, in these down the wire, late in the season type of games. But for Shady Side Academy, I'm sure that they know in the back of their minds they do not want to leave it into the hands of the committee come playoff time, and they just have to get a win, and that will silence all of that. But for GCC, they can really throw a little bit of a conundrum, if you will, at Shady Side Academy if they're not able to come out on top. But obviously a whole half of basketball, and the way that GCC came to life later in that second quarter, they could bring some momentum here into the third.
I want to thank our gold sponsor, Cox Piping Supply. Visit them, coxpiping.com. Centurions basketball. They're clad in the white jerseys. There's a 15-point lead for the Bulldogs at the half last time these teams met. And GCC just that quickly back in front. Gribble now in double digits. She strokes her second trifecta. It is 26-25. Leads have been few and far between so far tonight for Greensburg Central Catholic. Thomas kind of slowly working her way around the perimeter. Peterson has been very aggravating as a defender, and clearly that time a foul on her. No one really in major foul trouble. Althoff did pick up 2 first-half fouls. That is the first on Jayla Peterson.
And that speaks volume to the pace of play in that first half. Pretty up-tempo.
Swatted away. Good defense by Jones as she denies Thomas at the rim. I've been impressed by Jones.
I keep mentioning it's that help side, weak side defense that's come over, rotated, and has been rotating well.
Now, when that defender help comes over and rotates, does that potentially leave Sauer open underneath the feast?
Well, then that allows for somebody from maybe the elbow or from the perimeter to drop down defensively. It's basically everybody is kind of replacing the other in that motion. So could allow for Sauer to be left open, but more so you're giving up a three-pointer probably on the perimeter.
Banner was not looking at the basketball. The pass to her, she reacted at the Richmond. St. Joseph and then Marietta. 1 of 2 for Erica Gribble. Both of those older sisters, by the way, as Gribble has the steal. That should make her sisters proud. Soars in for 2. The layup gives GCC their biggest lead, 29-25.
You can see with each possession, Gribble's confidence is growing. She's becoming more comfortable with this Shady Side Academy defense that has completely pinpointed her. With this Shady Side Academy defense that has completely pinpointed her.
Her sisters played at Norwin, with Elena being a part of back to her. Three on the 9-28 third. Sports now
is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services.
1 point GCC lead after the first three-pointer of the contest by Shady Side and Cameron Capel. We mentioned her dad of the contest by Shady Side and Cameron Capel. We mentioned her dad. He's a little busy right now, Jack. He is coaching the Pitt Panthers at this very moment. They are playing, I believe, Virginia tonight.
Yes, you are correct, Sean.
Pitt trying to get back to the NCAA tournament after they were dubiously left out last year. Gribble nearly got the and one. She'll head to the line trying to earn a pair. Buford picks up her second personal.
That could be something that comes back to haunt Shady Side Academy because Buford has been kind of that extra force down low to play off of Sauer in the paint.
Gribble's missed a couple of foul shots this quarter. GCC did not attempt a foul shot in the opening half of play. She splits the pair. Two-point Centurions lead. This would be a statement win for GCC. Shady Side, one of 3 teams still undefeated in WPL girls basketball. Jack, we are very familiar with one of the other 2. That's your cue to say Penn Trafford.
Bingo.
There's a 3 from the wing, and that goes for Thomas. And all of a sudden, after they weren't even close on hitting threes early, they've knocked down a couple in a row from behind the arc, the lead back to the visitors.
Well, Sean, I was so enthralled by that possession because it looked for a moment like GCC was in a 1-3-1 defensively. It gets blown up by the 3 by Shady Side Academy, one of the few for them tonight.
And now the pick and roll attempt goes awry. Capel comes up with the steal. Sauer ahead of the pack, and she is bumped. Probably sensing the contact, she put it up towards the rim. She'll now go to the line, trying to add to her team's narrow 1-point lead with 4:37 left in the third quarter, and a notable foul, the third charged on Erica Rodriguez.
Yeah, she has been a force on the glass and down low defensively.
Sauer good on the first. Sauer averaged about 9 points and 8 rebounds per game last year, and she is up to about 15 and 10 this season. 1 of 2. Offensive rebound by Mitchell. That drives coaches crazy.
Yeah, especially on missed free throws. That's one where GCC, they have to come away with it, but for Shady Side Academy, they can make this a 5-point swing.
Buford powering her way, goes scoop layup. My goodness, what a shot. I don't know that that's how she drew it up, Jack, but it worked.
Yeah, talk about throwing up a prayer and it gets answered.
Peterson unable to match it as she hit the side of the backboard. Off and running. That's a long 2-pointer, and it is down for Capel. She's got 5 in the quarter, and all of a sudden, Shady Side Academy up 36-30 after they trailed 30-28. An 8-0 run. Gribble off. But good hustle play to keep the basketball in possession of the home team, courtesy of Georgia Evans.
We've seen a lot of stuff on the perimeter the last few possessions for GCC. They need to get back to that, getting a paint touch, getting inside, past the perimeter, really making this Bulldogs defense have to rotate.
Gribble goes behind the back, showing her terrific handle. Turnaround, knocks it down. High degree of difficulty. It doesn't matter for Erica Gribble as a full timeout taken by Chris Scattell. 4-point lead for Shady Side as we continue third quarter action. 3:27 left in it on WSN.
I feel like it's definitely very important, like for high school, because a lot of kids, get peer pressured into drinking and doing drugs. So like doing the events like in a school setting, I feel like definitely like try to prevent kids from like going to like parties and drinking and driving and doing drugs and being peer pressured.
We just want to talk about the dangers of the substance abuse in our community, and we want to help be a part of stopping that.
State Representative Mike Reese was a great advocate for the kids in our community. He felt athletics were a vital tool in raising healthy, happy kids. The Mike Reese Memorial Fund offers grants to local youth athletic organizations so that every kid has a chance to play. Funding is available for new equipment, registration fee offset, facility improvements, and more. Visit MikeReeseMemorialFund.com to apply.
Now you see Chris Scattell, head man for GCC, 4th year. He's had incredible success. He's got so many AAU connections and ties, Jack, and he's very familiar with how to coach high-end players, and Gribble just the latest in line for that.
Well, AAU basketball is such an important part if you want to get seen at that next level collegiately, especially during spring and summertime.
Gribble and Peterson, AAU teammates. Western PA Bruins.
I'm sure that helps build the chemistry when it's high school season.
That was good hands defensively as Buford tried to lower her head and just get to the cup, and it leads to an easy 2 the other way as Althoff gets her second field goal. GCC back within 2 with 2:40 remaining in the third.
And Gribble is getting it started on the defensive side. She has been a pest for Cassie Sauer down low, trying to get positioning.
That's a straight-on shot that's off the mark by Buford. 1 and done for the Bulldogs. Peterson, she's not scored yet in this quarter. Dribble handoff, Gribble. Left it short, but a good positioning underneath for the Centurions as they keep it alive. Peterson, no. Another offensive rebound and a foul after Althoff initially had it. She had it ripped away, but a little bit too much contact, and it'll go on the Bulldogs.
And honestly, if Capel had not come in with the body first there, she ripped that ball free pretty cleanly. Most likely would not have been called a foul, but again, that initial contact with the body is what triggers the foul.
As that one's poked free. Maybe something that Dad will tell her next time. Yeah,
I'm sure he'd be happy with the physicality, though, and the aggression.
The basketball bloodlines with these two schools, of course, are very significant. We mentioned Gribble for GCC and her 2 prolific sisters, and Capel, Sauer on the Shady Side equation as there's a takeaway by the Bulldogs. Drive to the cup and 1 for Buford. So Buford makes it 38-34, and she'll have a chance to make it a 5-point lead with just under 2 minutes left in the quarter as the foul is assessed for the first time tonight on Avery Jones. Buford strong with it. Gribble has the board. That's swatted away on the drive by Althoff, and then a held ball gives it right back to the Bulldogs. That was very aggressive by Althoff.
Yeah, great sequence there for Shady Side Academy. And really for Buford, that was a tough take on the other end. Not sure how she was able to find a little space, but she's been impressive.
That time Buford a little out of control. It looked like she was knocked off balance at the bottom side of the rim. Centurions in transition. Off the heel, Peterson, another offensive rebound for GCC, and she knocks it down. They're getting after it on the glass right now. That's her first points of the quarter.
And that happens because Buford is late to get back into the play. It's a 5-on-4 advantage for GCC on the offensive glass, even though Buford is right around where the ball recoils back to, still slow to get back into the play.
Thomas calls for a screen, and the Centurions converge. The blocker shot. Gribble off and running, soars in for 2. GCC ties it. Gribble is going off in the quarter. Thomas the other way and 1. Well, no doubting Thomas on that one. She got all the way to the cup in a blink of an eye, and she's given her team the lead back just that quickly.
That's a play. If you're Avery Jones and you're going to commit a foul like that, you've got to bring the ball with you because a player like Thomas, she's such a good finisher. More times than not, she'll be able to finish through contact, and there gave enough life, was able to finish in a chance at 3.
And she knocks it down. 41-38, Shady Side up. Approaching 40 seconds left in the third. Gribble goes to work, left and short. That was a tough shot. Thomas, full speed ahead for her. Draws 4 defenders. And Gribble gets a hand on it and has the steal. She can't convert. And now rips it away, but she was on the baseline. Jack, they truly sent 4 defenders at Thomas that time.
And she made the right play. She decides to kick it out. They work it around. Gribble just reads the passing lane well. But in that sequence for Gribble, she's got to go up and finish. A lot of young players like to do this, seek out the contact, and then try and get the and one. Just go up and finish. Take the points when you can.
15 seconds remaining in the quarter. Sauer, top of the key. That's not her comfort area. Now she goes to the block. And it's turned over. Last off of Sauer. It's a little bit of a collision there. Jonna Burke saying it was tipped by GCC. That's not the way the officials see it. 7.3, plenty of time for the Centurions. Gribble looks a little gassed though. Back to Gribble. She's going to have to heave it up here. It will count, and it banks in! What a shot off of glass by Gribble, and we are all square as we head to the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. 41 all, 3 quarters down. Fourth upcoming on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services. The Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services.
We head to the fourth, 41 all between GCC and Shady Side, and Gribble showing some magic that quarter, Jack. 14 points, including that miraculous shot from three-point territory to beat the buzzer.
You want to talk about a momentum shifter, at least a momentum builder? It's buzzer beaters. And right there, Gribble doing what she's done all throughout her career. Reason why she's playing Division I basketball when she heads off to college. Massive shot, but now it's a matter of how do the Centurions build off of that into this crucial fourth quarter.
Well, they're going to ride the hot hand, it looks like. Gribble sees 2 defenders, passes it in. Now Peterson, wing 3, left it well short. Now they got the ball successfully out of Gribble's hands, although Peterson still had a good look at it. Sauer, she gets an and one. And the lead back to the Bulldogs, courtesy of Cassie Sauer.
That's a big foul on Althoff. That's her third. So now you've got Rodriguez and Althoff both with 3, and they have been, again, not names in the score sheet so much, but more so getting other things done defensively.
Sauer knocks down the foul shot. The conventional three-point play makes it 44-41. Still one possession, just over 30 seconds gone in the fourth. Well, no one was covering Althoff there. It goes. So Althoff able to curl around. Looked like a defensive breakdown, and she now has 6. She gets her team back within a point.
That boils down to communication and switching. In first half, Shady Side was doing a great job switching on ball screens, hedging on ball screens as well. There, just a little confusion.
Thomas, who has 16 points, about 4 shy of what she typically averages this season.
Gribble is absolutely battling down low with Sauer. Again, Sauer a forward, and Gribble, who will be playing a guard position in college and normally plays a guard position, showing a little strength down low.
And a reach-in foul. And again, 4 white jerseys surrounding Thomas on the drive. That's probably one where you have so many players there, you just don't want to reach in and give yourself a chance to be called for a foul, especially if you're Althoff, because now she has 4 of them, 1 away from disqualification.
Yeah, and if you're GCC, now you're starting to think who could come in and potentially replace Althoff should she foul out. And the depth for both teams have not really been challenged much.
That was a foul in the act, as the first one's good for Thomas. 45-43, 6:40 left in this one. I believe, Jack, we have only seen 1 reserve for the Bulldogs and 2 reserves for the Centurions to this juncture. 2 of 2.
Those are some tough free throws by Thomas, especially shooting into the GCC student section.
Gribble. Bounce pass to Peterson. And taken away. Good hands by Thomas, who averaged 4 steals per game a year ago. A lot of contact there. Sauer posting up, wants the basketball. Weren't able to get it to her. I'd be throwing it to her quite a bit if I was the Bulldogs, Jack. Instead, it's a lot of dribbling by Buford on the perimeter. And a timeout by Jonna Burke. Good defense by Erica Rodriguez to stay with her. Just about 2 minutes gone, fourth quarter, 46-43. Shady Side over GCC. Don't go anywhere on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
It may be small, but it can bear over 4,000 times its own weight. And that's just the door hinge. Sturdy design, all the way down to the smallest detail. The Taos. Hop in. It's a VW.
For a great deal on a new 2024 Volkswagen Taos, visit Sendell VW in Greensburg. SendellVW.com.
Along the arc of a woman's life, there are many passages. Growing up, chasing dreams, building a career, embracing wisdom born of experience. There are times that make good health and well-being so vital. We provide care that helps women thrive at any age, at any stage. Independence Health System. Expert care here.
3-point lead. 6:02 left in the fourth. This one has lived up to the billing. Arguably the top 2 teams in Class 3A. And there's a chance, I think, maybe they'll be seeded as such. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart is 17-2, leading their section. Seton LaSalle is 14-5, leading its section. But, man, it's hard to say that these are not the 2 best teams, especially considering the fact that they both prevailed in their respective championship games a year ago at the Pete.
And they also know how to win big games. That's the big thing, is that I'm sure the committee looks at that and says, hey, these are teams that have earned that opportunity at getting a high seeding.
Thrown onto the block and a whistle. Not sure if that's a foul that occurred as the pass was coming in for Sauer or if it was on the perimeter. It's the 3rd team foul either way. And the 3rd personal on Avery Jones, as some of the Centurions starting to get in a little bit of foul trouble. Not really any concerns in that regard for the Bulldogs currently.
Yeah, no team fouls in this fourth quarter thus far for Shady Side.
Nobody with more than 2 personals either. 3 balls down, courtesy of Mitchell. The first bench points of the game either way. It certainly came at a big time. 6-point lead, and there is the first foul on Shady Side in this fourth quarter. Big shot by Kai Mitchell, the senior who comes off of the bench, as Thomas picks up her first foul of the contest. That's impressive. Gribble kicks it out. Back to Gribble. She's open. Missed it. You could see from our vantage point that was off, but another offensive rebound. That has really kept the Centurions in this game. Althoff with her 4 fouls nearly traveled. Now she rolls. Good entry. Sauer bumps her. Players hitting the deck like they're bowling pins, and it's last off at GCC. Thought that could have been a foul on Sauer there, Jack.
Yeah, she might have gotten away with one, but again, great.
A 12-ounce queen cut for $26 or a 16-ounce king cut for $29. The prime rib is seasoned, slow roasted, served with au jus and horseradish, vegetables, and a choice of pasta or potato, and comes with super salad too. Remember, D'Annunzio's Prime Rib Special every Friday and Saturday after 4 at all 3 of our restaurant locations.
A special thanks to tonight's gold sponsor, Cox Piping Supply. 3rd-generation family-owned business, Cox Piping Supply is proud to serve contractors in western Pennsylvania with water, storm, sanitary sewer, and erosion control products. Visit them at coxpiping.com or one of their 3 branches, Latrobe, Bethel Park, and Cranberry. You and I as homeowners now would appreciate that, Jack.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Less than 5 left in the fourth. 6-point lead for Shady Side, looking to sweep the season series, secure a section crown outright, and stay perfect. Capable off on the 3, and the rebound snatched by Rodriguez. GCC has just 2 points so far in the quarter, and we've played 3.5 minutes of it. And they've been sloppy. That's loose. Gribble comes out with it. Sees a double team. They're leaving the far corner wide open, Jack, meaning the Bulldogs defensively. Swatted away by Sauer as she rejects Erica Rodriguez.
Her recovery has been so impressive. I mean, she's able to get from the free throw line to the baseline in one step, and that's why some of these shots, they look like they're good looks by GCC, but Sauer erases those opportunities.
Sauer has been sweet tonight for the Bulldogs. She has 13 points, and she has been a force defensively. Nearly a backcourt violation right near that midcourt line. Buford to Sauer. And we'll see if they call that on the floor. I don't know if that drive. And down. Scored through the first 3 quarters, has hit a couple of trifectas, making it 52-43.
And this what turns good teams into great teams. Those players that can step up in big moments. Numbers not called all night, and you step in nicely.
Step back by Gribble off. Another offensive rebound. Her pass tipped. Shady Side is locked down defensively here in the fourth.
Just great recovery by Capel.
Swatted away. Great recovery, speaking of which, by Avery Jones. Peterson knows, going to follow her own miss. It's tipped, however, into the waiting hands of Cameron Capel. And with just about 3 minutes left, now we're going to see a much more patient set from the Bulldogs. Gribble, and that's a reach and foul. 15 foul. I don't know if that was the intention there or not, Jack, but we're going to get some foul shots forthcoming, and probably not the player you want to go to the line in Thomas, who is 3 of 3 at the stripe tonight.
Well, both Thomas and Sauer have been really good from the free throw line. Buford has been impressive as well. I mean, this is a good free throw shooting team in Shady Side.
They average nearly 64 points per game. And the first is good for Thomas. They had 71 last time out. Thomas scoring 24 of those against the Lancers. That's certainly not a bad Deer Lakes team.
This offense has been north of 70 points 6 different times this year.
2 of 2. A double-digit Shady Side lead. GCC had the lead for a decent portion of the third quarter, but the Bulldogs have swung momentum in their favor. And it seems like it's going to be anyone but Gribble for the Centurions here offensively. Shady Side is just taking her out of the equation. As Sauer's called for a bump. Doesn't seem like she loves that foul, but it's just a second team foul, so not of major consequence.
And impressive, it's just her second with how physical she's been down low. A couple times with some big blocks that could have gone the other way as fouls, but instead she plays them cleanly.
Down to the floor, and it's a travel. Well, this defense has been suffocating for the Bulldogs, and I think the big adjustment, after Gribble scored 14 points in the third quarter, Jack, a goose egg for her, and she's not even really getting any looks at the hoop.
Now they've switched who's covering her. It's not a box and one, but it's awfully close to it, and they basically are just front-facing, guarding her the whole way through and making her life miserable to get open, and again, forcing somebody else of GCC to beat them.
Ticking down near 2 minutes left in the fourth. Thomas, in no hurry, moves it to the corner. Now Sauer kicks it out. That's an open three. Capel off the heel, long rebound, and Peterson has it.
And looking at Coach Burke's reaction, I don't think she wanted that long three to go up.
And the Centurions are going to go to the line, trying to score with the clock stopped as Peterson draws contact. See John Thompson, the GCC football coach, in the house tonight. He had a very good season guiding the Centurions this past campaign. Good friend of ours here at the Westmoreland Sports Network. First is good for Peterson. Now she has 9 for the game. Trying to get it back to single digits. She does. And a full timeout taken. We will step aside Under 2 minutes left in this one, 54-45. Shady Side trying to stay perfect against Greensburg Central Catholic on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
Sometimes construction can take a little longer than expected. But one thing's for sure, these new Kias won't last long. The construction sale continues at Smell Kia. And while we're busy building the ultimate new showroom, you can lease the stylish 2025 Kia K4 LXS, named the 2025 North American Car of the Year finalist, for only $199 a month. Or the 2025 Kia Sportage X-Line all-wheel drive, only $289 a month. Hurry to Smell Kia.
Under 2 minutes left in this one, a 9-point lead for Shady Side Academy, looking to go 20-0. We mentioned Penn Trafford also undefeated. Trivia, Jack, can you name the third undefeated Gals team?
Oh, it's going to bother me when you tell me it. Union?
You got it. The Scotties.
Nice.
That's a heck of a pass. And an elbow jumper, a bit strong by Buford, but an offensive rebound by Sauer, and that's going to allow Shady Side to run more time off.
If you're GCC, you might have to start thinking about fouling.
And it looked like they were fouling there a little bit. Instead of a foul, though, it's a timeout called by John Burke. 1:28 left in this one. Still a 9-point lead for the visitors as we continue on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Get to Mike Hamlin Hyundai for huge end-of-year savings. Drive the new 2024 Hyundai Elantra SE or Tucson SE all-wheel drive with 1.99% financing for up to 60 months. All vehicles are backed by the Mike Hamlin Advantage oil changes for life.
This is the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast.
On this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast, we take a look at the Norwin girls' upset victory on the road against Upper St. Clair, the Franklin Regional boys winning a thriller in OT against Greater Latrobe, and all of the girls' playoff qualifiers.
We also have Plays of the Week, Team of the Week, which is the Southmoreland boys basketball team, and a scheduled look ahead.
All that and much, much more on this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast right now on our YouTube channel. Out of the timeout, Bulldogs basketball. Nearly threw that one away. Nice catch by Sauer. She is impressive. She's got big-time potential, as that is a travel. Mentioned Sauer, the third daughter of Pete. The middle daughter was on last year's team, Charlotte Sauer. She graduated, as did Sydney Pritchard, who is playing lacrosse at Franklin and Marshall. And then, of course, their leading scorer, Maggie Spell, transferred to Thomas Jefferson, but this team has not missed a beat.
Yeah, it was about 19 points per game that this Shady Side Academy team lost with Spell.
Off the mark, battle for the rebound, and the Centurions unable to get it, and that might be the dagger there. Thomas is fouled. So she'll go back to the line. Well, the Centurions much more competitive in this second one, Jack. They had a chance. They had a lead in the third quarter. It was tied heading to the fourth, but Shady Side Academy took this game over primarily on the defensive end. And then Kai Mitchell with two massive three-pointers here in the quarter, as that first shot is off by Thomas. That is her first miss of the contest. Also, it's worth noting that Abby DeLugos out for GCC. She probably would have been a player that really benefited from the type of defense the Bulldogs are playing to try to take Gribble out of this game entirely.
I think we also saw the depth of Shady Side Academy, the versatility, and the various options that they can go to if, say, Karis Thomas is not scoring that night.
Gribble just had to force one there. So if Gribble's kind of taken out, which is what primarily the Bulldogs have been able to do in this fourth quarter, a lot depends on Peterson, and I don't know that they necessarily have a terrific third option yet. And maybe that will develop. I mean, they're a very young team. And so when you have a roster that has just one senior on it, sometimes there's going to be growing pains for those complementary players. And we've seen that a little bit here in this second half, and especially in the fourth quarter tonight.
I think what's so impressive is that both Erica Gribble of GCC and Karis Thomas of Shady Side Academy, both juniors. So they still have a whole nother year of basketball to continue to really put together an incredible career, and not to mention keep their team in that championship category.
Yeah, maybe get 2,000 plus points, which is some rarefied air. 57-45 as we near 30 seconds left. And that shot's off, and then Sauer is fouled on the rebound. Looks like it's going to go on Avery Jones. Now, they had an Avery in the starting lineup last year. Avery Davis, Avery Jones. I thought at times she looked pretty impressive tonight, but her offense dried up, did not score in the second half as Sauer will walk the other way, and she's got a couple foul shots to add to her 13 points. Good on the first.
You go back to that first quarter, Sean, and there were a lot of bunnies that were missed by GCC. And it was a good job by Gribble to draw two defenders, noticing and making the right play and finding that wide open player. But they missed some 8-foot jumpers, some 6-foot jumpers, shots that you make in warm-ups with routine ease, but they could not get those to go. And you look at those at some lost points that GCC left on the board in that first half.
Sauer's been very good. Thomas has been pretty much what I think we expected tonight. She is above her season average in terms of scoring as well. Gribble gets a blow by, good ball fake, and she knocks it down. But time continues to run, and it's going to be too little, too late for Gribble and the Centurions. As Shady Side Academy stays perfect. They are the outright section champs in Class 3A. Section 2, they score a 59-48 victory. They are 20-0 on the season. We'll take a break. We got post-game festivities coming up. An 11-point victory for the Bulldogs over the Centurions right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
It may be small, but it can bear over 4,000 times its own weight. And that's just the door hinge. Sturdy design, all the way down to the smallest detail. The Taos. Hop in. It's a VW.
For a great deal on a new 2024 Volkswagen Taos, visit Sendell VW in Greensburg. SendellVW.com.
This is the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast.
On this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast, we take a look at the Norwin girls' upset victory on the road against Upper St. Clair, the Franklin Regional boys winning a thriller in OT against Greater Latrobe, and all of the girls' playoff qualifiers.
We also have Plays of the Week, Team of the Week, which is the Southmoreland boys basketball team, and a scheduled look ahead.
All that and much, much more on this edition of the Westmoreland on the Hardwood podcast right now on our YouTube channel.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
Get to Mike Hamlin Hyundai for huge end-of-year savings. Drive the new 2024 Hyundai Elantra SE or Tucson SE all-wheel drive with 1.99% financing for up to 60 months. All vehicles are backed by the Mike Hamlin Advantage oil changes for life.
Coming winter 2024, DBAT Pittsburgh East will be bringing the DBAT Sports family to Pittsburgh's East neighborhoods, featuring a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art baseball and softball training facility with 4 dual Fungoman automatic pitching machines, 9 lesson cages featuring the best training tech in the game, including pro-sized baseball and fast-pitch bullpens, elite speed, strength, and agility coaching, professional baseball and softball instruction, 50-plus camps, clinics, party room, and a pro shop powered by pro-preferred brands Rawlings and Easton. Now offering Founders Club memberships. Learn more at dbatpiteast.com.
An impressive road win tonight for Shady Side Academy. They are now 20-0. 13-0 in Class 3A Section 2. They are the outright section champions. Centurions dropped to 15-4, 10-2 in section play. Half of their losses this season have come against the Bulldogs. Certainly much more competitive tonight, but that's probably a little consolation for the home team and Chris Scatell. They had a chance, Jack, and it felt like momentum. Big Mo was on their side after that incredible shot by Erica Gribble to end the third quarter. It was 41-0, but it was a much different story in the fourth quarter. An 18-7 scoring margin for Shady Side, and of those 7, the 3 very late by Gribble, kind of just cosmetic. The defense took this game over.
Without question. And for Shady Side Academy, the fact that they were able to figure it out in that fourth quarter and really blow this one open at the end shows that they're able to turn a switch on at any moment's notice. And I think as they get into playoff time and make their way to trying to capture a second straight title, that's something that they can hang their hat on. They might not have played their best basketball, at least maybe in their standard, through the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, a completely different situation. And, give GCC a lot of credit. They hung around. They made the right plays through those first 3 quarters. Really, even that half that fourth quarter, I felt that they were hanging around, but it was just down the stretch, a couple defensive miscues, some big shots made by Shady Side Academy, and then the free throw shooting. I mean, there were a lot of points from the free throw line for the Bulldogs in that fourth quarter alone, and that's the difference between teams that are going from good to great, being able to make those shots, being able to get points in those aspects and in those situations. But I think for GCC, they have to know that, hey, if we run into the Bulldogs again, if we stick with maybe that zone, very different story, very different feel, because that zone defense that Shady Side Academy was playing up against had them a little bit out of whack, but great win by the Bulldogs. You saw their dominance as a team, but also their versatility, having 3 or 4 legitimate options to go to. And I think for GCC, when you take Erica Gribble out of the equation, who still had 26 points, but a laborious 26 points, and you don't have anybody that can, again, Jayla Peterson fills in things nicely, but then that third option you don't really have stepping up, whereas for Shady Side Academy, Thomas, Sauer, Buford, even saw Kai Mitchell come to life towards the end of the ball game, Capel with a couple big shots as well. So there's a lot more depth on that Shady Side team in terms of the offense, and I think that was something that was exploited a little bit here for GCC tonight.
Yeah, no doubt the torn ACL for Abby DeLugos looming very large. She was hurt in the 4th game of the season. They're used to playing without her, but they would love to have her in a game like this. Looking at these scoring numbers, Gribble 26, Peterson 10, 6 apiece for Jones and Altoff. That was it. So they played 7, 4 of them scored. On the other side, as far as I saw, the Bulldogs played just 6, but they got 23 points from Thomas, 15 from Sauer, right on her season average, 8 from Buford, 7 from Capel, and 6 from Mitchell off of the bench. Her 6 points, all of the bench scoring between the teams in this contest. What did you see from the decorated, accomplished head coach Jonna Burke that maybe helped her team swing the momentum in this game?
I think it was just staying composed, and the fact that they were able to make these adjustments. That second quarter, and a lot of credit to Coach Scatell of GCC, comes out of that zone because Shady Side could not make a 3. I mean, we saw a lot of air balls, especially in that first half. And so I think the ability to adjust on the fly against that zone, and then ultimately her knowing, head coach Burke knowing, I got to give the ball to Karis Thomas and just let her orchestrate the offense. And I think that when you're a coach and you are able to give a player that type of leash and that type of ability and wiggle room, it shows on the court. You saw how comfortable that Shady Side was with her running the show, running the offense. But I also think that down the stretch, it was some good rotating of the defensive side of things, some good help side defense as well. But ultimately, I think for GCC, again, a game they could have won, a game that was very much within reach of them to get, but ultimately they just fell short because of the fact Shady Side Academy, a couple extra plays that went their way.
Well, the Centurions, they're already postseason bound, but they will not be section champs this year after they went perfect 12-0 last year in Class 2A Section 3. They've got one more section game. It's on the road at Deer Lakes. The Bulldogs, they have claimed the section title. They will wrap up their section slate at home against East Allegheny. They also have a game upcoming against Butler, which is one of the schools where Jonna Burke used to serve as a head coach She won 123 games there over her 8 years. I want to thank both head coaches, Jonna Burke and Chris Skittel, for accommodating us here tonight. We also want to give a big shout out to our gold sponsors, Jack. Of course, Cox Piping Supply. Third generation family owned business Cox Piping Supply is proud to serve contractors in Western PA with water, storm, sanitary sewer, and erosion control products. Visit them at coxpiping.com. One of 3 branches in Latrobe, Bethel Park, or Cranberry. That'll do it here tonight from Greensburg Central Catholic. For our videographer, Matt Palumbo, for my colleague, Jack Ryan, and our Sean Meyer signing off. Shady Side Academy winners 59-48 over Greensburg Central Catholic right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.